Hello everyone, Chris Assis here, and today we're going to be continuing on with our conversation about balance and making our legs talk to each other and how that specifically applies to Ochos. So I know that some of you are most likely supporting the Feet Together for the Pivot School. Some of you are supporting, highly likely, you're probably supporting the Feet Apart for the type of tango school. But I am a supporter of both. So you probably it probably doesn't come as a surprise. I do not think that we have to stick to one when both of them work for different situations and they give a different style in our stepping, and if you manage them properly, then your balance will not be affected. Now let's, because we started this conversation about the being nervous and losing our balance. So that's how it all started. And now, under this light, we're looking at these things again. So the big question here is how, when you are turning, you are making your legs talk to each other, you're making them talk to your hips are talking to your chest, and your chest and arms are talking to your partner, and vice versa. So there needs to be a complete channel of communication from the top of your body to the lower part of your body and reverse. So if you manage that, then you won't have any trouble with having your feet apart, and it will be just a matter of style. It would be depending on who you're dancing with, the music, and so on and so forth. So I want to give you a couple of examples where we are forced, in quotes, to have the feet apart, or at least in the beginning we have the feet apart, and then we will try to bring them together in an ocho. So one of them, it is very common, a sacada. It looks like this. So say you're doing a side step, your partner would be doing a sacada on this free leg. The sacada to happen, you need to have contact, right? So by the time there is contact, there's no time for you to collect the feet and turn. By the time you do this, you will be falling away from your partner. If you want to collect the feet in this case, you would have to start to let this leg, the free leg, go after the contact and close the feet at the end. Or you have the option to do this instead. Same goes if we have a gancho, for example. Right? So if you have here, then the only way around it, you can't release the leg and go. You're going to be falling. So you have to find a way to uncross the legs and make this spiral go all the way up. So you go here, you cross, you uncross, and go. And again, you have the option of here and here. So you're going to start pivoting and then collect the feet, or here and here. Two examples of how, in which situations it might happen. And then there's, of course, the element of who we're dancing with, what we're dancing, how we're feeling. Maybe we're feeling a little bit more flamboyant and we want to keep the legs away from each other. Of course, always paying attention who's around and if we have a space. What the music is like. Maybe the music is calling for a little bit more of a planeo type of type of ocho, you want to be able to engage in that, or I think you want to be able to engage in that because that gives you options of expression. So when we say express ourselves, you need to find that space in the rules. You need to understand, why did my teacher say keep your feet together? Well, your teacher said keep your feet together because it's easier to pivot. It's easier to turn when your feet are together. It does not mean that it's the only way it can happen. I'm pretty sure you've seen ballet dancers spinning and having their leg extended out like this, which means that it can happen, and they're actually doing something a lot tougher. They're doing it alone. It's a full turn. It's not upper and lower body. It's a full turn, and some of them are happening really fast. We even have change of the leg position. So it's possible. The question is, do you want to do it? And that is what gives you more room to be expressive. Some people do not like it. They don't like how it looks to have their feet together or to have their feet apart. They say, you know what? I don't like it. It's not my style. Perfect. Amazing. Find your style and work on that. But always have in mind that there is another way. So, today, I'm going to be giving you an exercise so you can work on both. Very simple exercise. It is based on the exercise that we did last week, only it's on side steps. So here we have side step with a rebound. Rebound back and across and step. Rebound back and across, side rebound, cross step. So it's not really a pivot, even though you do need to pivot the base just a little bit. Use this to start building a little bit of awareness and confidence that you have the flexibility that you need to go into a nice smooth back ocho. This is a very common problem most people have, that I can't twist that much. But if you think from the feet and the legs up and you let your legs move your hips, you will notice that that is not exactly true. Now, repeat this a couple of times and try with your feet together and with your feet apart. And start noticing afterwards how that spirals up. Also notice that one side might be better than the other one. This is very, very common. For example, my right side is a lot stronger than my left. And you can see it here because even my twists are deeper on one side compared to the other. So it is bound to happen to you. It happens to anyone. It is to everyone, actually. It is how our body is made to move. So give yourself time. Repeat the side rebound, cross rebound, back ocho sequence as much as you feel that you need to. Don't rush through it. Take as many details as you can from it. And then slowly start taking rebounds out. So in this part, we will have a pivot, a rebound, a side rebound, pivot, step, smaller step, and we repeat again. So we've taken out those extra rebounds on the side that we're not actually doing the back ocho from. So the side, the leg that does the back ocho, that takes that step in the back ocho, it's the same leg that does the rebound. As you can see, the other leg just takes a step, so we can keep progressing from one side to the other. Here, we will be doing more of a variation. Try to start with a variation that you feel more comfortable with. So I usually collect my feet when I'm doing my pivots because that's how I was taught and I like it that way. So I started with that. But here you can see that my feet are apart and they're not that close together as before. So I start from something I'm confident with, and then I move to something that I'm not so confident with. And I encourage you to do the same. What will also help you is to have a nice natural tempo. Here I'm not using any music, I'm just following the tempo that I feel comfortable with. And now we have a planeo style back ocho where the feet, not only they don't come together, but the free leg is completely extended. You can use that when you're actually doing a planeo or when you have a nice powerful sacada or a powerful, it follows a powerful gancho, and especially, most importantly, when no one is around. Now we take all the rebounds out and we're just doing back ocho, side step till we reach the other end. Of course, you don't need to do as many as I'm doing. If you have a bigger space, if you have a smaller space, you will have to adjust, right? So find your tempo here. Find that same spiral that we were, oh dear, you were working on before. Find the same, build that conversation that your two legs had between each other, and with the hips here, this is very important. So get all those details that you had all the time to do before, because you didn't have pivot after pivot after pivot. You had a nice gentle rebound in between. Build them in here, and then change the style like I'm doing. I had my feet together. Now my feet are a little bit apart, but you can still see the communication between them, and then even further apart. And here, the communication and the dialogue between the two legs is even more evident. See? There we go. Because if it's not, you will have trouble balancing, right? And my advice to you, don't lose that when you take the step. The pivot is not even half the work. You have lots more to do in that, in those back ochos, right? So take that communication between the two legs, bring it up into the hips, bring it up into the body. Forget about that word of disassociation and instead build on coordination between upper and lower body. And remember, one side will be definitely better than the other one. And so this is it. We started with rebounds and pivots, and then we started taking the rebounds out, and we ended up with just pivot, step, and we did that for three styles. Not three types, three styles of back ochos. Feet together, feet a little bit apart but connected to the knees, and feet completely apart. So a planeo type of, type of ocho. So from my personal experience by doing this drill, when I reached the planeo type, the last one, I found that when I was turning during the pivot, I was fine, no problem. When I wanted to step, though, I was so focused on the pivot and just, doing it and making sure that my turns are nice and stable, that I completely ignored the step. And that was where the problem was. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm not even doing what I was asking these guys to do in the previous video. When we were saying that when we step back, we're going from our big toe on the outside and then the middle of our heel. So I was like, wait a second, let's go back to the beginning and see if I'm doing the same mistake, ignoring anything else, but just being so blindly focused on the pivot that I am screwing myself up. So, and it was in fact true. So try to pay attention to every little bit of the exercise. Not because you're practicing and you have to be serious about it, but because it's your time. Make something beautiful out of your time. Maybe this exercise will take you 10 minutes, but try to make those 10 minutes the most meaningful 10 minutes of your day. That's, for me, the purpose. Yes, you're gonna get better at tango at the same time, but it's your time. Make something beautiful out of it. Don't be so laser focused at the end result. Be laser focused at every second of those 10 minutes. And then practice is not homework, practice is investing in yourself. So, is it tango that gives you your time back? Awesome. Is it any other hobby? Awesome again. But take that time back, make a gift to yourself, have fun, enjoy, and at the same time, get better to something you absolutely love.